learn how to color our gradient mesh. So we've set up a rectangle, we've added in points, we've manipulated those points to get them to look a little bit more like a 3D object, and now we're ready to color. So first things first is we need to turn our layer to outlines. So Command and click on the eyeball. And I personally start with very few. I've been saying that all along, but I go dot by dot. So what you're going to do is start on one side and work your way around, and you're going to end up coloring each of these points based on the color that's right below it on the actual photograph. So let me start and I'll show you kind of what I mean. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to work my way around, up, around, up, around, up, around. First things first, know your shortcut key for these two things because you're going to have to go back and forth. So A gets me to direct select and I gets me to the eyedropper. So I'm going to use those on my keyboard a lot, so you're not going to see me coming over to my tool panel. So I've got my direct select, made my selection, click to eyedropper, click the color right next to it. Back to A, eyedropper, back to A, eyedropper, A, eyedropper, all the way around. This will take a few minutes, but it'll be a really drastic change once we turn off the wireframing. So back to I. Don't lose your spot. You can go back and fix stuff, but it's just easier if we kind of get it right the first time. Okay, now I'm going to go up and even do it for all these next ones. It needs to be adjusted just a tiny bit. Okay, make sure I only have that point selected. Back to I, A, I, A, I. Back up to the top. I only have about 6-ish more. A, I. Almost done. Okay, now the fun begins. I'm going to Command 0 so I can see everything. And we're going to go back to our layer and we're going to click Command off of wireframe. So now look, what's really cool is already you have this really nice looking base. It is not perfect. We need to go in and fix stuff, but it is a great foundation. Again, all those points and all those anchors can get really, there's our base, tricky. So when you're adding in these gradient mesh, work slow, work clean, start small, get a great foundation. Okay, we're going to go back in and we're going to add in a few more points and continue what we're doing, but it's already looking really great. I'm going to focus on this little area right here. But ultimately, it's not exact. This line over here needs to get a lot sharper. This needs to be a lot more defined. But we've got a nice overall look. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to Command again. I'm going to grab my mesh tool and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to give myself a few more points to work with. I'm going to add one here. Now, I don't personally just go off my lines. I like to usually line myself up on one of my lines and then go from there. You're going to get a style and a technique on how you like to use it. So I'm going to be I'm just going to add in these 2 points. That's all I want. It's already starting to get a little wonky over here, and that's going to bug me, but we'll keep going. So now that I've added in those points, I'm going to go back through and fix the coloring on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. Make sure I can see everything at once so I can easily move across the board. Okay, spot 1, eyedropper, spot 2, eyedropper, spot 3, eyedropper. I'm trying to get really close, but not get some of this weird pixelation in there, obviously. Eyedropper, eyedropper, eyedropper. All right, now let's just go see how this is starting to look. And I do have a lot more definition. Nice. Okay. So that looks a lot better. Let's go in and clean up this line over here to get this much sharper look in the color contrast. So I'm going to, again, command and go into wireframe, and I'm going to add in a line right about in here. Remember, with every line, I'm going to undo because I do not like where that placed it. Let's try it on that. Much closer. Look, I've got all these points lined up right. I can move this guy over and move that guy over and not mess up all my stuff. So first I'm going to move those. Get them into place. Be careful getting too zoomed in because sometimes weird things can be happening elsewhere. I used my arrow key for that. This guy I'm going to move myself, and I can already see I'm going to get a lot of issues. Let's show you how to fix this. So I want this guy over here, but I'm going to be really careful as I'm moving him so that I can pull this and this off of each other. And then I'm going to work on making this guy hug around. Yes, that's going to give me the points I need. Okay, so again, we're going to go back in, and at some point you might lose track a little bit of where all of your exact points are, but I'm going to do my best to hug this entire line. A, eyedropper, A, eyedropper, A, eyedropper, lost our point there. Move my way up. Excuse that. A, eyedropper. We're even going to make sure this guy is right what we want him. And command 0 so we can see everything. And command. Nice. Look how much closer that's getting. So much closer. So you could keep going in and doing that same process. I'm going to move on for time's sake, but I would get in and get a little bit more of this worked in. You could come in and add in another closer detail to get a little bit more of this shine, reflective shine on the edge, and also kind of in here just a little bit. but at least get you a really good base start. So I'm going to hit save, and we will continue on with some fun flowers after this.